operating on a frequency of 52 megacycles by authority of the Federal Communications Commission. A test program follows.
To you who've been trained technically, I need hardly say that there's still a number of problems to solve. I guess you know them as well as anybody knows them. But I think we've proceeded far enough to justify the statement, at least, that these technical problems are not insurmountable.
We're a little bit too busy, so we'll go straight on to the blue game.
Well, I think one of the wives was asleep in the room next door. I think was the
in
My
this
name
game.
is Kevin Toronto, otherwise known as Gorlami, and I play for Team Reapout. Got on team April 2019. This deck playing Force Leech, which is a triple tribute, double Imperial Scudum deck that basically just wants to take all of your amber and burn it. It's got some really good speed with the Dr. Millie, since it doesn't have a lot of creatures. Kind of wants to lose on board until it's able to get off the Data Forge towards the end of the game. And I haven't really practiced the match for this. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty difficult for me, since he does have 3 different cards to bounce my creatures. So we'll see how it goes. I'll need to kill my creature holding all the amber immediately. Play the and that's about it. No, have not been able to. Oh, don't have any talk. I'm looking forward to it. We had a bit of a chat today, and he owes me a beer and a hamburger when I get to travel to Rome sometime when Vault Tours happen eventually. So looking forward to that. That was nice. Yeah, so I'm staying up to play the game, but that's perfectly fine. I was just joking, but he offered, and I was like, oh, that sounds great. I would love that. So.
Okay, so let's take a look at the second matchup. This time we'll be looking at blue players' decks. On the left side, we see the Reapout team deck, Force Leech, Wendy Glen Oracle. On the right side, we see the Sella Faremo blue players deck, and it's Gerwel Ila Bruna. Let's start from the Sella Faremo decks right now. What really strikes me when I look at this deck as 10 damage pips. So this deck basically tells you that, oh, you have some small creatures? No, you don't. You have some wards? No, you don't. It could use, of course, this damage pips to damage your own creatures when your opponent is not playing any. But that's not actually an issue here. When we take a look at shadows, we see 3 rat pennies, and each of this rat penny could be damaged by our own damage pip and return to our deck. So at the beginning of the match, that's not so important, but in the mid or late game, it could be another rat penny in our deck. So it's like having infinite rat pennies, just constantly drawing new rat pennies, which are actually the same ones we have just played, but then destroyed by our damage pips. Also, apart from red pennies. We see a lot of Sacrofiends and Demo Thieves. So the demon part, the demo or the fiend part from this mutated double creatures usually stands for destroyed, steal 1. That's actually one of the best destroy effects here from in this set in mass mutation. Of course, apart from the Keyforge, which is totally different category here, but destroyed steal 1 is something that we would almost always benefit from. So looking at this deck, looking at how many damage pips it has, how many ways to destroy your own creatures, like Ritual of Tongat, like Obsidian Forge, this could be, or Gleeful Mayhem. Yeah, this could be, and actually, this could be our strategy to destroy our own creatures to benefit from it. Also, Savage Clash here could also be a huge swing. We are destroying our own creatures, we are stealing some Ember, we are shuffling our red pennies into our thinner than before deck, and then our opponent board, our opponent battle line is just destroyed, apart from his most powerful creature. Let's take a look through this. Double Doom, nice card. Return to hand. Discard card. It's a nice disruption here. So our opponent could never be sure that his his or her next turn would be played with what he draw at the end of their turn. Also, we could return some creature that is crucial for their strategy and disrupt it this way. Looking at Pain Mail, this card could be also a viable strategy for destroying our own creatures or our opponent's creatures here. If, for example, our opponent is playing this, and surprise, surprise, they are. This card gains a whole new level of strategy here. Crucial cards in this matchup, I believe it could be the board control, because we are controlling our own creatures with our opponent's creatures. I won't put any money on Waking Nightmares here, because we are playing only 3 disc creatures from our own side, but we could use Waking Nightmare in this matchup as an Ember control card with counting our opponent's creatures from this house. Also, Untamed. We haven't spoken about Untamed, and I'm not so glad to see Niflkongs in a competitive decks, because it's more of a funny card, fun to play with, but not so competitive in my opinion. But I would love to see how this matchup played, and if this Niflkong actually provided this big swing that this card should, this double creature card should do. Of course, it's coming. It's like 3 Ember, Lowdown, which could shuffle our Niflkongs and Niflapes back to our deck to redraw it, which I won't do. In my opinion, that's not a good play to shuffle Niflkong. This two sides of Niflkong, because then you could just draw one piece and you will have to keep it or discard it. So it will be a dead card. It will be like playing with chains. And looking at the rest of this deck, yeah, that could be with this kind of Ember generation, board control and Ember control. This deck could be actually the deck that I would say that could win this matchup. But let's take a look at the other side. We see False Leech, Wendig, Glen Oracle. And oh boy, that's another 80 plus SAS Worlds Collide deck from the Reapout team. And this time we see triple Tribute, we see double Imperium Scutum, we see Total Vapors with Eddie, with Dr. Mealy, and we see the combo I mentioned before, Eon the Fringes, and a lot of archiving. Unfortunately, we don't see a lot of archiving here. Eddie is, of course, a no-brainer. You would play Eddie when your opponent is close to forging a key, and you would archive some card from this, because if you see E on the fringes, it means that every card archived should be from the disc house. Also, when you draw with Total Vapors, you hope to draw at least one discard to archive it. And a little combo here. You play E on the fringes and then draw, of course, before you draw all of your archived discards, and then you have a massive steal turn. It works only a couple of times. It's hard to pull. It could be hard to actually play it efficiently. So I wouldn't put any money on it. But I have seen decks with double in the fringes and with a lot of archiving, and it works really well. Of course, you have to play with a certain mindset, and you could just draw badly. You could just draw your dis before you draw your houses that you actually want to play, because this is not good. We see Harbinger of Doom, which could be a nice card if we have any option to destroy it. So it could be basically a gateway to this without this free chains. Then we take a look at Gleeful Mayhem, and yeah, here we have our way to destroy this Harbinger. Also, double Exhumes could archive more cards for us with bringing our Eddie from our discard to play. Also, we could play Exhume on Eon the Fringes, because Eon the Fringes is pretty squishy. It's just one power creature, so it dies instantly from any card that deals damage. So we have to bear in mind that if we play Eon the Fringes and then it's in our discard, we could always exhume it and then proceed with the rest of our combo. The cards that we really want to purge are double Misery Exploits. I would purge Binding Irons. I would purge Lilithals. And I would purge Snag's Mirror in this matchup. Because Snag's Mirror could actually bite us here. We want to play our this turn when we see our opponent goes to 6, 7, 8 Ember just to steal it back. But if we play Snag's Mirror, our opponent has a really easy way to just block us from stealing all this Ember just by playing this by themselves. So here I would probably want to start with Dr. Mealy, with archiving a lot of cards after our opponent have built a whiteboard. and I would try to control Amber, our opponent's Amber with tributes, but without any additional Amber. So we are not going to use this Exalt on a tribute because our opponent is playing Lights Out. And Lights Out could really bite us, even if we played tribute to put all of our opponent's Amber on a creature with Imperial Scutum. We'll be looking at Lights Out, and this card could be really pain in our bottom. Okay, so I believe that we could try to find some kind of agreement here that this would be a matchup that is more favorable for the Sela Faremo team, and I would say that the chances are 40 to 60, mostly because of Ember generation, mostly because we have some answers to our opponent's strategies. We have double dooms, we have Lights Out to answer our opponent tributes, and this E on the fringes combo is not always working, so we couldn't put our money on it. Okay, so let's go to the third one.
Hello,
So here we
hello.
go. Brett, do not go through that conversation on the stream about ice cream. These are the two hands. So at the top we have Golami, and at the bottom we have Steel Total 85. We see Mother
So we
God
got
from the
Reapout on
top.
the top, and we got Sela Mario on the bottom. Not a bad turn one play. Dropping the Pineapple Tree action, put a counter on it. Key costs increased by 1 for each counter on it. Garlami coming in with the Edite. Again, solid turn one play. Vandalize, take a card, discard a card from the top. Regrettable Meteor. That is a huge loss for Golami, who wants to capture all the Ember, then have it disappear. Takes out Edai, and Stewie in complete control of the board so far, but we're only on turn 2.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one creature versus 0. Yes, that's complete control, but it's not unchangeable. The Harbinger June coming down, always interesting to see. What's he put on top of that? Soulkeeper.
He's put a Soulkeeper, which is completely pointless, but if
But
he
it
gets
gets the
some
Amber.
ward stuff down, then yeah. Plays the Inner Beast. Now, there is an argument to growth surge your opponent's Harbinger here to make it harder to kill.
That is true.
Takes Niflkong, discards Niflkong, and then puts the growth surge on the Xeno Beast because I guess he wants to be able to blow up the board at will. Discarded the Niflkong and draws straight into the other half of Niflkong.
You mean started the coming and then draws into the other half of Niflkon, yeah. That's harsh.
No, he played the It's Coming and discarded the other half of Niflkong.
Oh.
Yeah. You hate to see that. Goes untamed, gonna discard the Niflkong,
Harbinger
uses
goes,
Harbinger. That's why I hate those big creatures. Good point, can't touch this. Plays Lowdown, uses Lowdown, and draws the bottom half of Niflkong. What is going on with Stewie's hand?
It wants to play that Niflkong, I think.
Pain Mail with a damage icon, but here we see Garlami coming in with the discarding and the steal, but Stewie has not played any dis. So it's a case of having to discard his own, purge his own cards. Discard Stag's Mirror. Can't touch this said that would probably be the best play, and off an E, it's even better.
Definitely.
Interesting choice to go with the shadows there, but I guess you're saving the Pain Mail for a creature that can actually get some control over, and Pain Mail's going to do the job here. Data Forge, get on there. This turn is going to take advantage of that. Very nicely done. 2 disc creatures with the steal and destroyed abilities. Gleeful Mayhem, get rid of Splinter and get rid of Replicator. Sacro Fiend, use it to deal the captures.
Much slower game than the last one. Turn 6,
Oh,
still
definitely.
no Keyforge.
both players taking their time. This game was a lot longer than the other one. This took a lot of editing. Plays Phallic Strike, drops the auxiliary,
No, how's he gonna do it? Yeah.
plays the Axiom, so does get a steal, which means Stewie's definitely going to fall. No, doesn't fudge because of the Grey Outer Gleam.
Yep. Nice blocker.
Is going to block the key with the Vine Apple Tree. Uses the Vine Apple Tree to put one Amber on. Drops Daemon Beast, pops the ward. Drops Niffle Ape, which ignores the taunt. Very nicely done. Now, Golami is going to... Yeah, Stewie's going to pay extra for his key, so Golami's in a good position here. Telltale Vapors, plays the Igor. Golami very efficiently getting through this deck. He's got 5 cards left in deck, got a tribute ready to go. True, funny how Axiom lost to Destroy All but Dinos. They don't have as much interaction. Plays Snudge. Plays Obsidian Forge. Obsidian Forge could be huge here. Markadis forcing back into Dinos. Little did he know that Dinos is the correct choice.
Yeah. But I say it's a gamble with what you know, don't know is probably the best hand to do it in.
Well, it was the only choice that forced the house because Igor would just disappear.
That is true. That is true. Tributes left in hand though, which
yeah,
makes
didn't
sense.
use the tribute.
But he doesn't need to yet. He's only on 5. He's too shy. So
yeah. Has the other half of Niflkong again? We're not going to see Niflkong. I don't think we've seen a single Niflkong drop yet on stream.
Not on stream, we haven't. No. Look at some of the comments and results. We definitely have had play.
So uses Snudge to bounce the Daimon Beast. Interesting. Damages the Igor. Then plays Savage Clash.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'd have kept the Daimon Beast and then dealt the damage after the Savage Clash, but sure. Exhume drops the Edai. Yeah, increase that key cost further, archiving the tributes. We're going to see a big Dino turn. Second Exhume brings back EE. This is good because Stewie has now played Dis, which means these discards are going to be a value on getting rid of cards like Mark of Dis, and they're going to be brilliant. But we have seen Stewie with the double down. So these tributes, not as big of a threat as we'd expect. That isn't until Golami draws the Imperium and is able to ward up the creatures that are going to get there.
Yep. So here we go. Shadow's turn coming through. We're going to see the lights out go up. Would you lights out Edai? Probably not.
No, you don't want to lights out the Edai. You're just giving more value there. Getting rid of the question could be good, but you're just increasing your own key cost. You want a way to deal with it.
So Telltale Vapors up.
Reaps with Edai. Drops mini group think tank, daughter, replicator. Stewie doesn't get to forge, but is in a strong position.
Yeah.
But Golami is taking control of the board. Fights Edai, steals one, but loses the captured Amber. Very nicely done here. This is where somebody jumped in the game and I had to tell them to get out. Lights out, perfectly saved. Bounces the replicator and bounces the daughter and the mini group think tank. Reapout Gleam coming back down, putting the key cost up to 9. Doesn't need to take the archives into hand because can drop the tribute here, put it on. Yeah, puts it on Reapout Gleam. This is where I had a connection issue. There we go. So what we saw there was Exalted, put the other 2 Amber onto Question Jata, and then a quick Imperium to ward them up. Reaps with Ghost Hawk. Pops the ward on. Kills the replicator. Very interesting. Captures one with the Niffle Ape. Puts it on to Diamond Beast. Nice.
So I need to get the opponent's on check here. It's going to start Logos' turn. Ooh,
so Stewie is going to get to forge his second key.
Yeah.
I know I can't touch this, but I kicked him out as quickly as I could. And if Golami had wanted the game to be replayed, or if either player wanted the game replayed, it would have been something I took to the admins. Because spectators know they shouldn't come in. These games are passworded, but the passwords aren't the strongest. I've jumped into games before just by guessing what the password was for KOTE games.
Yeah, it's always amusing when you do it before your opponent gives you the password.
Now, Golami's got to 6. Very good this logo's turn. Gets the court down, but Bo Niffing and triple Rad Penny is just disgusting, especially when you've got the
amber.
ritual in hand. 3 amber, destroy 2 creatures. You're more than happy to destroy 2 Rad Pennies here. This next turn in Dis is going to be brutal. Gets to 8. 8 can be stopped, yep, thanks to the Realtor Gleam.
Yeah,
You got pay bill, you got double down. Ah,
it can be stopped, but it ain't going to be stopped for long. Between
yeah, I
Obsidian
think
Forge and everything else.
if the E-Knights had stuck around, it'd be a much stronger game. But
Oh, always the way.
key cost is 9. With Obsidian Forge, that goes up to 15. But
He's going to have 13 amber or 15 amber.
he's got 15 right there.
Yeah.
Doesn't even need to sack any creatures. Sack one creature with the Obsidian Forge and
Turn.
very well played. Stewie
Brilliant
sacks
game.
the Rad Pennies and Bonifing, and beautifully done there. Sir Faremo take the blue point after one hell of an Obsidian Forge win.
So 1-1 coming into the final game, which I believe is the red game, is the final game.